Connecticut's Lime Rock Park is on a remarkable journey. It's called the Road to 60 to their 60th anniversary. And in that storied history, the Pirelli World Challenge has played often a key role. And it renews again right now. The first Pirelli World Challenge race ever at Connecticut's Lime Rock Park, 1992. It is deeply connected to the Pirelli World Challenge, and it's an honor to be back, and we're back for rounds 9 and 10 of the Pirelli World Challenge GTS Championship, the Lime Rock Park Grand Prix, presented by Bentley. Hi everybody, welcome to this storied and truly beautiful facility. I'm Greg Creamer, joined by Calvin Fish, of course, and Cal, we've been watching how this GTS class, now with the GT forecast being blended in, is evolving a little bit, but every journey to a new track essentially is a new adventure. The bull ring here, this should be really interesting.
This championship's been so much fun this year. We take it to this track, wow, what a dynamic we're going to see with the various manufacturers duking it out on the racetrack. They have strengths and weaknesses. Be fun to see how it plays out this weekend.
I think so. Now let's take a look at our Pirelli storylines, but for that we go back to the previous couple of rounds, the most recent round specifically. That start, huge consequences.
Well, there was a big turning point in that weekend when you had the championship leaders on the front row, Brett Sandberg on the pole. He goes alongside Lawson Archer back into turn one. This contact, damage to both cars, ruins their day, but boy, oh boy, what a turnaround for Parker Chase. That young man gets another podium. He's suddenly second in points.
Absolutely, and now here, adding to the intrigue of the first time for these cars at this venue, Buford's back.
Well, that boy did a great job at Barber Motorsports Park, sweeping both races. He's back now for the rest of the season. The Sin should be very strong here.
Well, truly great news to have Jade back in the championship, but also great news, a couple of cars we weren't sure were going to make it after that race. Jack Roush's Ford ended up parked on top of Scott Dullheit's Lotus. Cal, we weren't sure that that small team was going to be able to get that Evora turned around.
Well, Jack Roush switched to his spare car, but for the Lotus team, boy oh boy, they had to really burn the midnight oil here this weekend. They went to Buffalo, went to a shop there, tore the car down. Bill Dullheit had to drive to Ann Arbor to the Lotus parts store, get all the pieces. They had parts flown in from the UK. It's been a tremendous week. Just great to see them really be here on the grid this weekend.
And then be here quick. They're right in it. This is just a great story that's unfolding here. But one thing they're going to have to do is negotiate this track, as all of these teams are, and that means it's time for us to take a look at our Porsche track preview. Let's hop on board the GT Porsche of Patrick Long.
One lap at Lime Rock Park. This is Patrick Long with your Porsche track preview. Coming on to the Sam Posey straightaway, one of the tightest bull rings that we go to in the Pirelli World Challenge. An awesome track, tough to pass on. This is turn one, late and hard, trail it in. Your first curb is here, release a little bit of brake pressure, let the car rotate. This is turn two, pick up the throttle early. Usually you have a little bit of oversteer on the exit. Turn three, classic trail braking, let the front out, wait for the front to come to you, and then pick up the throttle. Try to maintain some pressure right there with the throttle as you go on to No Name Straight. It's a better visibility now. They've peeled the track back a little bit so you can see down here into the chicane. Slowest part of the corner, 50 miles an hour, second gear, up through the gears, approaching the final two corners, which is the fastest part of this section. West Bend, classic iconic corner. Fourth gear, just under 100 miles an hour. Downhill straightaway, very daunting corner. Your final corner, over 100 miles an hour. Fourth gear, on throttle as hard as possible. And that is one lap. Not much time to breathe here at Lime Rock Park, but a spectacular place and such an icon in North American racing.
Well, this place is spectacular. Short, fast, challenging. There's one spot on this track that's key.
It really is, and that's our stop, take, brake zone. It comes at you in a hurry. You come through the downhill, down that long front straightaway, and then jump on the brakes. You try and get down to the inside, but sometimes you can make a move to the outside, run the high line, undercut into turn two is a great overtaking opportunity.
We've seen a lot of races decided late on that very piece of track. Wouldn't be surprised if it happened here again today. You know what? We're also very happy, of course, with all the manufacturer involvement we have. And for Ford, there is, of course, a very special and specific reason they're racing in the Pirelli World Challenge, as Brian Novak tells us.
So Brian Novak, Ford Performance Supervisor for Motorsports. Brian, a good program coming into the Pirelli World Challenge for the 2016 season.
Yeah, no, we're really excited to be back this year with World Challenge. I think they do an awesome job, and it's a good show. And we're proud to be back here with our Boss 302s and to defend our championship.
Now tell us about the two cars you got racing here. We got the Jack Roush and then of course the young Nate Stacy.
Yeah, so we've got Jack Roush Jr. in the number 60 Boss 302, and then we've got Nate Stacy in the Grabber Green Boss 302. So, just they're the same cars from last year. A little bit of adjustment with the series and get the cars up to spec with the newer GT4 cars. And we're just coming out, and I think we're clearly showing we're pretty competitive this year.
Now, how does it relate from the street car and the performance to the parts that people can buy from Ford Performance?
I think this is, we love World Challenge in this sort of series because we can actually sit here and actually do the work on these cars, and we can go right back to the street car and do it. So there was a lot of development that went into these cars and these Boss 302s, and went right back to the street. And so we like using these series to get the cars better and then take that right to our street cars.
And those are the same parts you can buy from that Ford racing catalog right there at Ford Performance.
Well, Ford's been long involved in the championship, and certainly the Pirelli World Challenge is better off for it, no question about that. As always, though, GTS weekends, double headers, which means we had a race unfold yesterday. That was round 9 of the championship. We want to go back and take a look at some of the highlights with our Kia Rewind. Inward green. 50 minutes of racing here in round 9 of the championship. And here we go, the drag race. You can see Sandberg definitely protecting. That opens it up, or does it, for Lawson to sweep the outside. Cal side by side into one.
Well, once again, down into Lennon off. The Maserati goes for a ride. Oh, look at this. Aschenbach makes the move. A great job there, hanging on the outside around Big Bend. Oh, problems for Tony Gables. Here's a move for the 3rd position. Here comes Heckert.
Nice
Parker
run.
Chase.
Oh, look at that.
Dollarhide's got around Chase.
Oh, boy, that was an aggressive move. Oh,
Clennon's in trouble right in front of the leader. Oh, that's tight.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's got second getting in too deep on Jack Roush Jr. and Plum had to take good evasive action. Barkey in the mix as well. Ooh, did he touch? That was going to be close.
And you heard that big V8 come to life, Cal. He timed it to perfection.
Jack Roush Jr. with that horsepower slides it to the inside down in our stop-tech brake zone. He takes that 7th position back. Sandberg is on it hard. He's got to run on him right there. Look at him. He's got the momentum, but Aschenbach still has a little bit more horsepower there. It's not going to be an easy task for Brett Sandberg, and Aschenbach isn't typically prone to mistakes or pressure. Anthony Mantella, after a brilliant run here today, has got turned. Here comes Buford to the inside. That's tight. That is really tight there. Watch this. He's got to run it. Oh, he's into him. Great car control there by Nate Stacy. I believe that Buford was into his rear bumper. That's how he got into that attitude, and Gottsacke takes advantage. This is for the lead. Sandberg closer than ever on Aschenbach. Good stuff. Oh, Barkey's off in the weeds a little bit. I think Stacy wants some more. Parker Chase in trouble here.
Boy, he sure is, isn't he?
Stacy
Way
me
wide
and a
goes
Janetta
Parker.
sandwich right now. Chase is just hanging on.
Sandberg shows the nose, but not enough. And again, Lawson Aschenbach. That was awesome stuff. And here comes Stacy
to the inside. Woo!
Oh!
That was tight.
Oh, but a big wiggle. Both of them, Cal. Great stuff. Awesome Lawson. What a season he's putting together in pursuit of his 5th championship.
I had to work for that one today, but I'm really proud to have an American team, American car on Memorial Day weekend. That's where it's at.
Well, as always, it seems this year in the GTS category, it was a fascinating race. But, once the checker flies, things always develop and change. For an update, let's meet the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Jeff Lepper.
Right before the GTS race, I think the key, talking with Brett Sandberg and Lawson Aschenbach, will be on the start. Who can get ahead into turn number 1? We saw it with Lawson Aschenbach yesterday. That's his goal. If he can get first place, make a gap, because he knows that KTM crossbow of Brett Sandberg comes on strong at the end. Talk with young Parker Chase. He said they'd made a wholesale changes to that Ginetta G55, trying to get that car underway, get him up to speed. Had a great result yesterday, but fell off at the end. They need that car to last.
Thanks very much, Jeff. Now, folks, let's take a look at our Porsche race analysis. This track, 7 turns. We know them more by name than number, but the key here is less than 1.5 miles in length. You have 15 GTS cars set to set sail. You might normally say, that's not a lot. On the bull ring, that might be just about right.
Traffic is always a factor here. How you manage it may be a key to victory here today.
And of course, one of the areas you're going to have to manage is called the VP Racing Fuels Acceleration Zone. And Cal, tell us how that's going to work.
On starts and restarts, as the pace car exits the track, the field enters the VP Racing Fuels Acceleration Zone. The lead car will be responsible for maintaining a speed from 50 to 55 miles per hour, and at the starter's discretion, the green flag will come out and everyone will unleash their VP Racing fuel.
And oftentimes, it's the MOTUL Pole Award winner who gets there first, so our MOTUL GTS Pole Award winner goes to the number 13 of Brett Sandberg, turning a lap at a 56.873. Really stellar lap, and a bit earlier, Jeff caught up with him.
Getting fast lap required a bit of doing yesterday, and it's going to be super important to try to get out in front and really take the lead right from the beginning and keep Lawson behind me. Otherwise, I think we're going to struggle with the same issues that we did yesterday. So, hopefully we can get out, keep it in front, and bring this thing home.
And let's get down quickly to Jeff Lepper for the command.
For Optima Batteries, Pirelli Tire North America, and Bentley Motors, and all the customers and fans, drivers, start your engines.
This absolutely fascinating mix of machinery is about to set off now, Cal, for the 10th round of the championship. And of course, we've got the Cadillac ATS-V pace car leading the field around on this one. And that front row, we've seen it before a couple of races ago, and they've got to do the standing start again.
Well, the front row of Brett Sandberg on the pole and Lawson Aschenbach, our championship leader. They've been here many times before. They're very evenly matched in pace and race-winning potential, so they know that this opening lap is critical. Brett Sandberg got the jump down into turn 1 yesterday, but Lawson hung tough around Big Bend, made the move into the left-hander, and Brett Sandberg hounded him, but couldn't get the win. Maybe the same today. It's going to be very, very important for those two guys.
It almost seems it's critical for each of them. Whoever leads, that's going to give them the best shot at a break. It's that close. Also, we talked to the Ginetta boys, missed on the setup a little bit. They think they're in a much better position today.
That was a big surprise yesterday because the Ginetta is typically good on the longer run, but they were struggling for balance early in the going, so they've made some big changes. They should be stronger, and as you can see, Parker Chase, currently 3rd in the championship, is starting on the 2nd row of the grid.
Yeah, maybe the other big story, Jade Buford, has been 1 announced for the rest of the season. 2 got hit on the start, then got hit again later in the race on the same corner. Handling was completely knocked out, so obviously that's going to be a story too. We'll be right back with more here at Lime Rock Park.
The Pirelli World Challenge on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by Pirelli. Power is nothing without control. By BRM. And by the Cadillac V-Series, the first ever 455 horsepower 2016 ATS-V Coupe and Sedan, and the all-new 640 horsepower CTS-V Super Sedan. The Pirelli World Challenge on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by MOTUL, official lubricant of the Pirelli World Challenge. By VP Racing Fuels, our passion is your performance. And by Porsche, there is no substitute.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the layout the cars are going to be using here once again, Cal. They're coming around and setting up for the standing start. Some people call it a chicane. It's also just called the alternate uphill. We might start calling it the climbing S's, kind of like the flow of that one. But first, folks, though, we want to take a look at our Kia Quad Box, and it is going to feature these remarkable Replay XD onboard cameras. Here's just a sampling of what you're going to be able to enjoy as the field makes its way around. And that's West Bend, and now that diabolical diving turn. It is infamous here at Lime Rock.
Then down onto the Sam Posey straightaway, and that really sets up that big brake zone, or stop tech brake zone down into turn 1. We'll see some action there today. People getting pretty innovative with the outside move and the undercut. And obviously, if you can establish yourself to the inside early, that is the way to go.
And you just saw a shot in the background of the Cadillac Escalade, the remarkable safety vehicle. Cadillac's such a great partner, there it is, of our championship. And a big thanks to them for providing these remarkable vehicles that are so important. Now, cars are lining up, and you've got vastly different engine weight transfers. I mean, everything in this is going to always be fascinating on a standing start, and we're just about ready for it.
Well, they got very even starts at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park just 6 days ago. Let's see what happens here in the next round of the championship. It is super critical, as we've said. Scott Heckert there, what can he do in that sin, sitting third on the grid?
Yeah, and as always, when those lights go out, we go. You see the green flag flying just there above Martin Barkey's car. That indicates the grid is clear. We are now into the official starting sequence. This is a 50-minute race. Revs are up, and there we go. And boy, it looked like a great start. The Sin didn't get moving very well.
Neither one.
Yeah, but a launch, that exactly what Sandberg needed. But here comes Aschenbach again.
He makes the outside move again. I think he's going to make it stick. And again, that car comes to life a little bit quicker in generating tire temperature. Lawson Aschenbach gets the big move and grabs the lead.
Boy, I'll tell you, I don't, the tires on that X-Bow, crossbow, not coming up to temp, but I think the helmet is inside that car once again. Just didn't go, but look who got a great launch right behind him. Parker Chase, this could be interesting.
Well, Parker Chase really gives it 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
and yesterday in the race, the car was strong at the beginning. Here we see Sandberg again struggling for grip here in the opening laps. It took him about 4 laps yesterday to really get that car into the sweet spot.
Boy, and Mark Clennon jumped from 8th to 4th in that Mark Ward Maserati Premier and Chomp machine. That was a great launch, all precipitated by the slow getaway of the Sin.
Yeah, he took advantage of it nicely, threaded the needle there. There we see Hugh Plum. He's had a nice start here up ahead of the Lotus.
On a big run there. Yeah, Hugh taking that move.
Barkey did not get a good start. He's qualified 4th, which was a great run with the fast. Oh, this is tight between the Lotus and Hugh Plum down in the Stop Tech brake zone. Clennon hits the dust.
Yeah, just dropped the wheel, but looks like got away with it here. There's Clennon. There is Plum. And behind him, that Lotus of Dolahite chasing them. The white, a little bit different look here as he's running a different car after the crash up at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for Jack Roush Jr. But there you go, through the uphill section. It is Aschenbach doing what he seems to be able to do anytime he can get to the front. Open that margin up a little bit. Try and build a gap to have something to be able to deal with here as down the hill they come one more time. And Sandberg off that pace a little bit. Oh no, one of the Sins down into the pits. Looks to be Scott Heckert having a problem. They're looking at that left front corner. We're having a look there at Mr. Clennon, and the reason is he gets the Optima battery's best standing start for up those 4 spots he made up in the starting lap of this race. That was a remarkable launch. We're going to step away for just a moment. We'll be right back with more from Lime Rock Park. Lawson Aschenbach continues to lead here at Lime Rock Park as part of the Pirelli World Challenge Lime Rock Park Grand Prix presented by Bentley. But you see he's got company. Brett Sandberg once again awfully close right now. And to our good fortune, this beautiful black dog Camaro is carrying our Eibach suspension cam for this race. So let's take a look and watch that work. And you know, this is a very fast, short, you think smooth track, but not so much.
No, I mean, it's so much smoother though than it ever was, Greg. And
well,
used to be hanging on. It was like riding a mechanical bull or being on a paint shaker around this joint for many years, but they've done a superb job. Spent over $4 million really just bringing the track back to life. All of the facilities are superb.
Thanks for Lawson carrying that Eibach suspension cam. Parker Chase starting to come in here. It looks like he might be closing up just a little bit. However, we want to go down to Jeff Lepper. He's got Tom Brown from Anson Motorsports. What's he got to say about Brett Sandberg, Jeff?
Well, obviously the start meant a lot for the Brett Sandberg being on the front row there. How's he going off so far trying to run down Lawson?
We just got to keep, we know we're not as quick in the straight line for sure. We just got to pressure him where he's weaker, and that's in the twisty stuff.
Now, the strategy was to try to get as many changes you made last night?
Yeah, the guys in the 13 car have been solid all weekend and making the right changes.
Well, thanks very much. I mean, it's just tweaking on these cars, obviously, and then putting it in the driver's hands. And Sandberg right now, he is really, I think, getting a bit antsy at this stage here. He's so close, but he knows Parker's coming. he also knows Parker is a brazen young lad.
Yes, he will give it everything. So if there's an opportunity, Parker Chase has shown that he will absolutely go for any gap that he sees. But right now, I think Brett Sandberg is a lot closer to Aschenbach earlier in the race than he was yesterday. So it's going to be a long 38 minutes plus on the clock for Lawson Aschenbach to try and hang on. And we start to see Sandberg trying in different places than he did yesterday. Into the right-hander, onto the no-name straightaway. That is a position we didn't see him have a look yesterday, so that'll keep Lawson on his toes. And it's really hot conditions here, and Parker Chase is looking very strong. They're just hanging in the wings of these two leaders.
Well, Parker's last 2 laps, Cal, have been 3 4/10 faster than the leaders right now. And of course, to some degree, I'm thinking the Black Dog crew is willing Parker on to try and have him put some pressure on Sandberg and get him to focus a bit more on him. But Lawson doesn't then want Parker to get through because Parker is looking incredibly quick.
Yeah, the car's balance is so much different to yesterday. He was loose at this stage in the early going yesterday, and it just got worse for him as they had the tire pressure a little bit too high. So they made a nice adjustment there. Sandberg, though, has definitely got more pace than Lawson Aschenbach. But he's now in a different dynamic when he's got that guy, Parker Chase, right on his tail. So every move he makes, he's got to be looking in the rearview mirror at the same time.
And downhill we go. It looked like Harry Gottsacker, the team car, running fairly slowly.
Oh no, that was involved.
Yep. The Gulf crossbow from Mantella Autosport. Damage to that left front.
Those guys were battling out for the 10th position last time across the stripe, so I think they may have had some contact possibly. There it is, going through the right-hander onto the no-name straightaway. Anthony was definitely on the rear body work of Harry there and then turns him as they go through the corner.
Kind of looked to me like he thought he had to move to one side and then changed his mind, and at that point he was way too quick into that part of track here.
Both cars now stranded there to the driver's left. Have to imagine we're going to see a caution with this.
I was just going to say, I think that might indeed be the case here. We'll have to wait and see what the official call is here as we watch him on the diving turn once again onto that front straight and see what the officials think. At this stage, we have not seen it's been covered by what they call a local yellow, which is the preceding flag station to the incident or the car, and the double yellows fly. It was almost inevitable, wasn't it?
It was. They'll communicate with the team and the driver if possible to see if there's any chance they can keep the car mobile so we don't go full course yellow, but both cars obviously in difficulty.
So as we get our first caution here, we're going to step aside for just a moment, but Lawson Aschenbach continues to lead over Brett Sandberg and Parker Chase here at the Pirelli World Challenge Lime Rock Grand Prix presented by Bentley. Stay with us.
The Pirelli World Challenge on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by Nissan, innovation that excites. And by the Bob Bondurant School of High Performance Driving, official driving school of the Pirelli World Challenge Championships. The Pirelli World Challenge on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Ford. Go further. By Replay XD. Life's in HD. Replay it. And by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source.
Through the legendary diving turn comes Jack Roush, fighting as hard as he possibly can in that number 60 Roush Performance Road Racing Mustang Boss 302S to hang on to 5th. Yes, folks, this is the quality of battle we're seeing for 5th here. Behind him is Clennon, then the Sinar 1 of Buford, then the Crossbow of Martin Barkey, then the Lotus of Dullahide, and then just a little bit farther back, the number 14 of Nate Stacy. Great battle for 1st, great battle for 3rd, fabulous battle for 5th. Loving this.
This is awesome. Jake Buford, who swept both races at Barber Motorsports Park. We didn't see him in action in Canada. He is back, and his car is much stronger here today.
Well, it hasn't been rearranged by suspension getting tapped by other drivers. That'll certainly play into things here. And Roush got the move on Clennon, but he has not been able to shake Mark at all. And there's Stacy, who came in, had some overheating issues, and they got him right back out again. But, you know, overheating excessively will hurt the engine, rob you of power. Ooh, that's how hard they're going at it here. Now, Buford again looking at Clennon. Cal, he's got him.
Yeah, he's down at the inside into our stop tech brake zone. Can he hang on? Yes, he does. I think Clennon may have dropped a wheel there coming out of the downhill. and suddenly Buford was able to pounce. I think he's got more pace in this group, so if he can clear them, there's still just under 20 minutes in this race. He may chase down that lead quartet.
You know, it has been fun this year, though, hasn't it? The last few races in particular, to watch Mark Clennon. It's like he's come alive in that Maserati, loves driving that car. And there it is, and just doing an absolutely superb job. Also want to mention that he and his wife are big animal rescue people, and she's got this company called Racing for Paws, and it is fundraising for rescues, and they've teamed up with a rescue here that's called Super Paws Rescue. Bentley, the presenting sponsor of this entire weekend, has already donated $2,500, and they are just delighted with that. And they're going to have that Racing for Paws that's going to be talking and dealing with a lot of different rescues throughout the rest of the season. So that's just a class act by some class people, no question. And we go back to that lead battle, and it isn't first and third, it's first.
Well, I saw Sandberg. I saw a flash of that green crossbow trying to make a move to the inside down on our stop tech brake zone once again. So he's definitely putting the heat back on Lawson Aschenbach for the lead of this race. And remember, it's only 22 points that separate these two guys in the championship. Every position is critical right now. It's a big swing in terms of first versus second, particularly when it's against your chief competitor in a championship.
In this battle, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, a little bit of a margin now back to Dullahite, who had a really competitive race yesterday, but oddly enough didn't get the kind of lap time we would have thought that had him starting a bit further back in the order.
Just want to give a shout out to everyone here at Lime Rock Park. It's been a $4 million renovation, the road to 60, April 27th. Next year will be the 60th anniversary. And Skip Barber and his whole crew have just done a tremendous job both on and off the racetrack. And there is the ability to get involved. Even a small investment as a personal contribution can be done. Just visit their website. It really is a spectacular place, and we're looking forward to the next 60 years of racing here at Lime Rock.
Yeah, it's going to be spectacular, as is this move. Buford got down to the inside of Roush. They got into turn 1. Roush stayed right with him all the way around Big Bend and almost was able to make it stick through the left-hander. But Buford now has cleared him, Cal, and is on his way. And yeah, that road to 60, I mean, every year here they have made some significant improvements on a variety of different levels. It's just been wonderful to see, and can't wait to see what they do next.
Very special place. They've kept the character of the racetrack, but it's just been spruced up in every possible aspect. Look at this battle intensifying for third spot. The leaders have taken off a little bit. I wonder if Parker Chase is backing up a little bit here in terms of balance with the race car.
Now watch for the timing to update. Yeah, he ended up with a 58.8. I wonder if he had a moment maybe as well. That was a suddenly lose a second.
Oh, and he's wide.
Off.
He is really wide. Just keeps it together, and he touches. He comes back on and just clips Hugh Plumman turns him. That's really unfortunate. Just close, hard racing.
Yep.
But Hugh Plum comes out on the wrong side of the deal.
And the question is, we saw that big piece of debris. Both cars have orange on them, so we're not sure who that came off of. But boy, this has taken the pressure off these two guys, at least for the moment here. If Parker's car is not damaged, we'll see if he's able to run them back down again. And the question is, will Hugh Plum be able to get going here? Or, because if he doesn't, where they're parked, I think we're going to have to see a caution.
And that may just be what Lawson Aschenbach is looking for again. Here we see it. Chase gets in way deep, gets out in the gray, in the marbles. Hugh Plum tucks to the inside. I think he's hard on the power, and as Chase comes across, he just brushes him. And with the steering input and being on power, Hugh just turns it around.
Yeah, and Chase, I don't think he realized Hugh had come up that quickly up the inside. And so, yeah, there's the good news. Hugh able to go, but he's down a lap now.
Right in front of the guy he was battling with.
Oh, man. Hugh had a run going. That's really, really unfortunate.
This is tight. Look at this for the lead. Sandberg is keeping the heat on. So much poised by our four-time champ, Lawson Aschenbach.
Yeah, the man knows how to lead. There's no question about that. We're going to pause for just a moment here at Lime Rock Park, but stay with us. You just get a feeling this one is going to go right to the end. The battle on once again at the front here in round 10 of the Pirelli World Challenge GTS Championship. The Lime Rock Park Grand Prix presented by Bentley, and it's deja vu all over again. We've seen this now for what, 4 races. Aschenbach getting in front at the start and able to hold off a great drive by Brett Sandberg. It is a chess match, but it's played. One guy's almost got checkers, the other has chess here, and it's an interesting play, isn't it?
It really is. He can't use the curbs as heavily as Lawson can. He doesn't have the compliancy or the ride height there to work the same angle through the uphill section with those big curbs, and those dome red inside curbing as well really makes it hard to run those and gain any time for the crossbow.
Those of you with sharp eyes, look in the back. There is Hugh Plum down a lap after the contact. That red Sin R1 GT4, Jade Buford, is now in third. Reason Parker Chase got a drive-through penalty for the contact with Hugh Plum. He has come in and complied, and that has promoted Jade Buford up into third, Roush into fourth, and Mark Clennon up into a fifth.
Jade Buford, fastest guy on the racetrack right now, 2 or 3 tenths quicker than the leader, but they've got a nice healthy gap over him, and the clock is winding down, now under 10 minutes to go.
You know, Jade's going to throw everything at it, but he's going to need a little bit of help, and you never know with how close that battle is. And Sandberg, he's a smart guy, but you know that frustration's got to be at boiling point right now. And again, he took a look down there, just saw him down in, and I think it's that angle you were talking about. It looks like he's in the inside, and he's not quite, but that close, Cal.
He is really close, and both these drivers showing each other a lot of respect here for many rounds of the championship. Yes, they had contact down in Turn 1 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park just 6 days ago, but this is good, hard, clean racing. But how much patience can Brett Sandberg continue to hold here? It's like a nightmare seeing that 10 car get around him on the first lap and then just controlling it.
Oh, he got a great run through those climbing S's that time, though. And you can see Lawson eases away, but Brett's fairly close here, Cal.
Yeah, I think he really needs a little bit of traffic to maybe create a bit of a pick. He's worked it, Greg. He's trying every angle. He gets a good run there.
Yeah, he does.
Start to hear Lawson Aschenbach a little bit more out of the power through the downhill. Sandberg is closer than he's ever been down the San Posey straightaway.
Looks way to the inside. Lawson starts to turn in. Sandberg up and on that curb.
He is close. Can he do the undercut here? If he can get some momentum through the apex here and look to the inside, he is much closer than before.
Boy, and Lawson, that car sliding, moving around, but never opening up. And now Sandberg, oh, I thought for a second he might try that move.
Aschenbach is placing that car exactly where it needs to be. Gives him about 3/4 of a car width and no more. He is not opening the door so far today.
And Lawson on the way up that hill once again gets a little bit of breathing room here. I want to take a moment to remind everybody, you've got lots of social media opportunities to follow what's going on with the Pirelli World Challenge. It starts with just the website, world-challenge.com. You can go to Facebook or on Twitter. Just look for the handle @WC Racing. And of course, for all things racing, check out MotorTrend on Demand, where you can also take a look at archives of the Pirelli World Challenge races. Start your free trial at motortrendondemand.com today. Back to some racing.
Aschenbach is really struggling through the downhill, and it's allowing Sandberg to get a run, and that really puts the pressure on now. Sandberg all over him, looking for a way through for the lead.
And let's see, this is where he's so quick. Keep waiting for him to make the move, and Lawson knew that. He actually feinted over just a bit there, didn't he?
Well, he certainly rehearsed it enough. He's got about 90-odd minutes doing the same thing over the course of this doubleheader weekend.
Look at how much of that curb, though, that Lawson's taken on turn-in here. I got to think that's going to be frustrating Brett just a little bit, because he knows, one, he can't do that.
That's for sure. I think he's very frustrated. He's having fun. I mean, this is a racetrack, it's a blast to drive. It's a bull ring. It's like throwing yourself in a blender and trying to survive 50 minutes of racing here. But he knows the championship. He can't afford to keep giving Lawson Aschenbach a handful of points each race.
And that's about as big a margin as we've seen for a little bit in this battle. So we're going to step away quickly. We'll be back to take you to the finish here at Lime Rock Park. Boy, this is going to be a good one.
The Pirelli World Challenge on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by KTM Crossbow. By Borla, we build excitement. And by Kia Motors. Visit kia.com to learn more. The Pirelli World Challenge on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by Eibach, the world leader in high-performance suspension. By Maserati. And by AFE Power. Advanced engineering, proven performance.
Through the climbing S's here at Lime Rock Park, the battle is on. Sandberg has already come up along the inside of Lawson Aschenbach. Couldn't quite make it stick. Lawson able to ease away just a little bit. Keep in mind the third car in your frame, that is Sandberg's teammate down a lap. Hugh Plum still, though, throwing down some pretty impressive laps. This is mano a mano, and Sandberg at the absolute edge, Cal.
Wow, it looks like he's got about 3 to 5 miles an hour more apex speed there through the downhill. Aschenbach is really struggling in that area of the racetrack, and that just puts more pressure on him through this little section here, through Big Bend, into the left hand, or onto the right hand, or onto No Name. Aschenbach, can he hang on for another 4 minutes?
He is protecting.
Here he
everywhere.
goes, he's on his flank, he's looking for a way through, he dives to the inside. Can he take the lead? Sandberg does it!
Brett Sandberg has fought his way through. Cal, I would expect now he's got to protect as they get down into that uphill section of track. He makes it, oh, but he's sideways,
he's lost it.
Contact!
Unbelievable. Just pushed in really deep, got off line, tried to get back on power, comes back across and takes out Aschenbach.
Buford, your leader now for Racer's Edge in the Sin R1 GT4.
Ray Sorensen there on the radio to Lawson Aschenbach, the championship leader, probably cannot believe what he's hearing. Aschenbach back underway. I think there's more damage to the crossbow than possibly the Camaro. There you can see it, major front end damage to Sandberg's machine.
Sandberg knew he had to get in deep enough into that right turn into the uphill to hang on to the lead, and just that much too much.
I think he needed to get to the right a little bit sooner, then just slow everything down. I think he gave that inside line there, and then he pushed in a little bit too deep, got off line, tried to stay with the power because he realized that the Camaro would out-accelerate him again, and just lost the tail end.
Here's another look at it, Cal.
Gets in there deep, up over the curb, and now he's trying to recover. He's basically half a step behind all the way through this section, and just gets into that right rear of Aschenbach.
Hugh Plum read it, was able to slow down, not get caught up in it, so Buford leads over Roush and Martin Barkey. Lawson Aschenbach, though, was able to gather it up. He still is running in fourth, and boy, that's going to be huge in the points.
The key is going to be Aschenbach's car. Is it wounded enough to make him have to come to pit lane, or will he plummet down the order? If he can keep going, it'll still be a big points delta for him. But Jade Buford didn't run in Canada. If he can bring this home here today, it'll be 3 wins out of 4 races for he and that Sin chassis in Racer's Edge Motorsports.
And we have 2.5 minutes, just a little bit under that, left to go.
So I saw the wrecker out there on the racetrack. We do.
Yep, saw the white flags
We
flying.
are yellow.
And we have gone full course caution. Okay, we didn't see that first of all, and just saw that wrecker out there. That's what a white flag from a corner station means, is a slow-moving vehicle or an emergency vehicle on track. And obviously, not going to be able to get this one cleaned up in 2 minutes' time here. And he's just sitting there, that wounded crossbow, right in that grass verge that separates the classic uphill from the S's, the alternate uphill as they call it. We want to remind everybody that this cleanup will be presented by Muck Daddy. For Jade Buford, what a story. But how about Barkey up into second? Looks like now we see Lawson Aschenbach up. He might get third place points. Something's happened with Roush.
Wow, what a turnaround. And at the end of the day, this is better news for Aschenbach in terms of the point spread.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you want to win races, but in terms of how do you stack up at the end of the day, I think his gap would be bigger now than if he'd won the race with Sandberg in second.
Not sure what happened with Jack Roush, but that's going to now put Parker Chase, even with his drive-through, he ends up now up into sixth, and Stacy does it again, finds his way up into a 6th place spot, then Roush, then Ziegler. Bill Ziegler driving the third ANSA crossbow, Clennon in 9th, and Hugh Plum, even though he's down a lap, first guy down a lap, sits in the 10th spot. But boy, what a story for Martin Barkey and the Mantella Autosport team with that MBRP Performance Exhaust Sport Lab crossbow. Well, let's get down to Jeff, who might have an answer on what happened with Jack.
Yeah, not sure. A lot of controversy down here in that Roush Road Racing pits. There's the safety truck pulled out on turn 1. Jack Roush had to get all over the binders to avoid hitting the truck, and they're really upset about having to lose those positions.
He had a tremendous drive going, Cal. I mean, we were so focused on what Lawson was doing in one of those big, heavy V8 GTS cars, but Jack was having an equally impressive run.
He really was. He'll be disappointed. For Aschenbach, it's good news. And for Barkey, what a day for Mantella Autosport. They're certainly shown some pace this year with that KTM crossbow, but this will be their first podium run of the year. And you talk about guys like Mark Clennon comfortable with that Maserati chassis. Certainly Barkey and Anthony Mantella have been very comfortable with this new chassis and platform they've got underneath them as well. They're just really enjoying their racing this year.
It's great to see as we come down the Sam Posey Straight and the checker flies. So Buford, Barkey, and Aschenbach will be on the podium, and Lawson ruining the opportunity to win a race, but I think there'll be a slight upward turn on the corner of his mouth as he thinks about the points. Celebrations down in Racer's Edge. That was John Meraki enjoying the moment, and we will come back and talk to, I'm sure, an absolutely surprised and delighted winner when we come back.
The Pirelli World Challenge on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by TireRack.com, revolutionizing tire buying since 1979. And by MotorTrend On Demand. Visit MotorTrendOnDemand.com. Start your free trial today.
Well, one thing you have to say about the Pirelli World Challenge GTS division this year, exciting. Every race has been spectacular. This one no different, and I bet no more exciting than for the guy who ended up a surprise winner. Jade Buford is with Jeff Lepper.
Well, with Jade Buford here, and Jade had 3 wins on the season. You come in here, one of those better to be safe than sorry, kind of stay where you were and get the win.
Yeah, we definitely took advantage of other people making not the right moves. So they kind of gave that one to me. I just knew we had to go out there and give it our all. Doing standing starts in this car is a little tricky, but I'm getting better. So not making it easy on myself, that's for sure. And I can't be happier for the team. They deserve this. I worked so hard on these cars, and glad to bring home another win for Sin Cars.
Well, you say how calm Jay Buford is. He's got a little bit of a sweat going on there, Greg.
What a great story, and how awesome is it he's going to be around for the rest of the season. Cal, after now 10 rounds of the championship, how do the drivers' points look?
Well, Aschenbach didn't get the win today, but he did increase his lead in the points. It's now ballooned over 50 points, but it's very tight between Sandberg and Chase. Stacy and Rice round out the top 5.
And that takes us into our Cadillac move of the race, and of course I don't think there's any question, after hounding him, a great move by Sandberg on Lawson.
Well, for 2 days in a row, he was looking for a way by, and he finally made it stick there, but it did not last for long, unfortunately, but a great move nonetheless.
Absolutely. Our manufacturer points for GTS after 10 rounds. Here's a look at how they play out at this stage. And after a battle that we saw unfold, we just had to hear from our points leader, Lawson Aschenbach.
We had a good car. You know, I was doing what I could to stay in front of him like yesterday. I knew he was quite a bit quicker through 3 and 4. And he made a great pass. You know, he was driving really well out there this weekend. And unfortunately, it just kind of looks like he may have broke himself into the chicane and then had a tank slapper. And I tried to go left to avoid him and into the grass, but there was nothing I could do at that point. So, you know, I feel bad for Brett. I know he's been pushing hard this weekend. He's a great driver. He's a great friend. So you never want to see that happen to a competitor. But I really want to say thanks to Black Dog Speed Shop and Chevrolet. I mean, the Z28's been fast. We're really good for those short runs. If every race could maybe be like 5 laps, we'd be okay. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. So really pleased with the results this weekend. You know, third, it was going to end up probably being second, but I'll take the third, and we'll go the next race. So pleased with the weekend.
Well, sometimes irony plays a bit of a role in racing, doesn't it? What a story for Lawson here. Meanwhile, now let's take a look, Cal, at our Kia turning point. It was the flip side of that battle between Aschenbach and Sandberg.
Well, he only had the lead for 1 corner, Greg. He got into that brake zone for the uphill section, just got in there a little bit too deep, got it wrong, got on the dirt, got the tank slapper, unfortunately turned it across the road and took out Lawson Aschenbach at the same time.
And now look at our VP Fuels Hard Charger Award. Once again goes to the number 14 of Nate Stacy, who had a very up and down day, but in the end up 7 spots overall during the race. Great job for Nate. And our MOTUL Fast Lap Award winner, again, a little salve for the wound for number 13, Brett Sandberg in the ANSA Crossbow. A very quick 56.898 lap. Well done for Brett. Well, that wraps up things here at the Pirelli World Challenge Lime Rock Park Grand Prix, presented by Bentley for a GTS battle. But I'll tell you what, Cal, this schedule, it goes from great to great to great in terms of tracks. Road America next.
Welcome Canadian Tire Motorsports Park to the Bull Ring here, and now we have 4 miles at Road America. Certainly my favorite, one of the classic road courses in North America.
What tasty dish will the chefs in GTS serve up for us there? Cannot wait to see it, so make sure you tune in and join us next up at Road America, folks. That wraps it up for Calvin and Jeff and our entire CBS Sports Network crew. I'm Greg Creamer, in association with WC Vision. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.